Welcome to this explainer. If you feel like the noise around artificial intelligence has just reached a total fever pitch this year, trust me, you are definitely not alone. Today, we're cutting right through that overwhelming wave of 2026 AI advancements. Our mission? To strip away all those flashy buzzwords, look at the hard data, and find practical ROI-driven applications that are actually working for teams in the real world right now. Let's dive in.
Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll be covering the 2026 AI landscape, hype versus reality, top AI productivity tools, Agentic AI and Cursor, building custom GPTs, and finally, achieving real AI ROI. Basically, we're going to start big with the macro trends and then drill all the way down to specific practical tools to help bridge that massive gap between AI hype and real-world results.
Section 1. The 2026 AI landscape, a macro view of market expansion.
$650 billion. That is a staggering amount of money, right? That number represents the projected 2026 AI capital expenditure by big tech. We're talking Microsoft, Alphabet, Amazon, and Meta. To put that into perspective, that marks a massive 67 to 74% jump over last year alone. These hyperscalers are literally betting the farm here, pouring unprecedented amounts of capital into hardware, data centers, and model training.
And what is all that money actually funding? Well, it's fueling a fiercely competitive lineup of frontier models, where advanced reasoning is just the standard now. OpenAI is pushing the limits with GPT 5.5, heavily focused on agentic coding and complex scientific research. Then you've got Anthropic's Claude 4.6, which is democratizing massive context windows, meaning you can feed it 1 million tokens of raw data without paying any extra surcharge. Google's Gemini 3.1 Ultra is natively processing video in real time at 60 frames per second. And xAI's Grok 4.20 boasts a 2 million token context window with the absolute lowest hallucination rate out there. It is safe to say the playing field is advancing at breakneck speed. Now, to really grasp the user scale here, ChatGPT hit an unbelievable 900 million weekly active users as of February 2026. But the really vital piece of data for us today is on the enterprise side. They've seen a massive 10x year-over-year explosion in enterprise seats. The corporate world is formally, completely buying in.
Section 2. Hype versus reality, the adoption gap in the enterprise.
So, despite those eye-watering investments in massive user numbers, there's this fascinating contradiction happening right now in the corporate world. See, the expectation was huge. Tech companies are stuffing AI agents into absolutely everything. In fact, 80% of enterprise applications shipped in Q1 of 2026 embedded at least one AI agent. But the reality? Only 29% of organizations are actually seeing significant ROI from generative AI. There's a huge adoption gap between simply having the tech available and actually using it to drive business value.
Digging into that a bit more, Pew Research data reveals that only 21% of U.S. workers actually use AI at work. Just 21%. With all the headlines and billions of dollars spent, nearly 80% of the workforce still isn't touching it, which kind of explains why a whopping 75% of executives admit their AI strategy is honestly more for show than for actual internal guidance. It's a pretty sobering reality check.
Section 3. Top AI productivity tools, moving beyond generic solutions.
So, how do we break out of that 21% minority and start seeing real returns? Well, as IT firm Arium perfectly puts it, generic chatbots handle everything with mediocrity. You need specialized AI tools built for specific business functions. The secret to saving hours of time is abandoning those generic prompts. Using a standard chatbot for highly complex business tasks is kind of like using a Swiss Army knife to build a whole house. You absolutely need specialized tools. Let's look at some top-tier specialized tools making a real impact right now. You've got Microsoft 365 Copilot, which is a game changer because it embeds AI right into the Word and Excel apps your team already uses daily. Then there's Fireflies.ai, which completely ends the chore of manual meeting notes by joining calls and instantly extracting action items. For research, Perplexity AI is taking over traditional search by delivering direct answers with actual verified source citations. Zapier with AI lets you automate repetitive workflows using just natural language. You literally just type what you want to happen. And finally, private LLMs. These ensure that highly regulated industries can use AI securely, training it solely on proprietary business data without ever exposing sensitive information to public servers.
Section 4. Agentic AI and Cursor, the new developer paradigm.
You're going to hear the term Agentic AI everywhere right now. By definition, these are AI systems that possess the autonomy to design logic guardrails, execute complex tasks, and act on strategic objectives across multiple steps. So, unlike the chatbots of 2023, where you typed a prompt and got text back, an agent is an independent orchestrator. You give it a broad goal, and it has the autonomy to figure out the steps and execute the task from start to finish.
A prime example of this agentic shift is happening with software developers right now, specifically with Cursor IDE. This isn't just a plugin you tack onto an old code editor. It's a standalone, built-from-the-ground-up AI coding environment. It acts as a proactive pair programmer rather than just an autocomplete feature. Cursor offers 4 incredible modes. Agent mode actually coordinates changes autonomously across your whole project. It has full access to edit files and even run terminal commands. Plan mode researches the codebase and creates a detailed, actionable roadmap before writing a single line. Debug mode is specifically designed to trace code paths and fix errors right at their root cause. And Ask mode is a read-only tutor that answers questions about your specific project. This comprehensive utility is exactly why a staggering 90% of engineering teams are now using AI daily.
Section 5. Building Custom GPTs. Tailoring AI to your business.
Now, what if you're not a developer, but you still want a highly specialized agent-like tool tailored just for your workflow? Well, within just the first 2 months of the feature's release, users created over 3 million custom GPTs. These aren't generic bots. They are built to solve hyper-specific problems, everything from summarizing dense medical literature to managing internal IT network incidents. And building one yourself is incredibly empowering, and it takes just 4 simple, no-code steps. First, you open the GPT builder in ChatGPT. Second, you provide detailed behavioral instructions via prompts, telling it exactly what its role is. Third, and this is crucial, you upload your specific knowledge data and internal documents so it actually understands your business context. And fourth, just configure your settings and test the output. It really is that accessible.
Section 6. Achieving real AI ROI. Safe and effective implementation.
We've looked at the tools, but to get real ROI, we have to talk about safe implementation. The reality right now is a bit scary. 67% of executives believe rogue shadow AI, which is employees secretly using unapproved tools, has already caused data breaches. Meanwhile, over a third of organizations completely lack any formal supervision plan for these autonomous agents. You just cannot achieve ROI if your data is compromised or if you don't have solid governance in place.
To prevent those kinds of disasters and ensure your tools don't just sit there unused, you need to evaluate every AI initiative against 4 key pillars. 1. They must be focused, targeting concrete pain points, not just theoretical ones. 2. They must be integrated, embedding seamlessly into workflows your team already uses without forcing them to constantly switch apps. 3. Results-oriented, providing measurable, hard data on time savings. And 4. Secure. They absolutely must meet your industry-specific compliance standards.
I want to leave you with this final, provocative thought to challenge how you're navigating 2026. Is your AI strategy driving real ROI, or is it just for show? Take a hard look at your own operations. Are you actually empowering your team to build custom, secure solutions that save real hours of work? Or are you just paying for buzzwords and empty enterprise seats? The technology is here, and it's incredibly powerful. The difference between the companies thriving and the ones falling behind all comes down to focused, intentional implementation. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and keep learning.